CodeBaby makes the human connection in the digital world using CodeBaby conversations. As an emerging company, we learn something new every day, and sometimes we make mistakes. So come on, watch us this time as we bring emotion to the online customer experience.
My name's Patrick Woltom. I'm CEO of CodeBaby. Yeah, so I got a call from Ray and Greg. I had heard a little bit about CodeBaby, but really I got this kind of call from out of the blue from Edmonton, Alberta, and candidly, I thought somebody's playing a joke on me. I mean, I really didn't expect to get a call from Edmonton, Alberta, and I didn't know who Ray and Greg were. I mean, it turns out they're like rock stars in the game industry, but they reached out and said, we think we've got this company and you might be the right guy to be CEO. And it was really an interesting process of discovery, and I'm glad for that call.
I met Patrick last spring, and he was talking about these kind of high-tech startups and how there are these really high-risk, really high-reward style companies that are a lot of fun to be a part of, and I wanted to be a part of one of those. So I pretty much nagged him until he directed me to a startup. It just happened to be that he was the CEO of that startup. So I graduated from college, got married, and started at CodeBaby within a month.
Well, I'd heard some of the local buzz from the press event, and I think I was having a conversation with a friend and realized I knew a couple of people who were already working with CodeBaby. So I traced down those contacts and talked with them a little bit and realized it was a place for me.
Yeah, the thing I recognized about CodeBaby is there really was something that had the potential to be game-changing. And this kind of missing ingredient in the whole space of the internet was, this dynamic of emotion. And I recognized that these digital characters had the potential to be kind of that missing ingredient. And I've spent my entire career around customer experience and technology coming together, and I just recognized this had the potential of being a game-changer.
I'm Jake Swenson. I'm the Director of CodeBaby Services at CodeBaby. So I was first introduced to CodeBaby in the fall of 2008 in just a conversation with Patrick, our CEO, just about what he was working on. Sounded like extremely interesting stuff, and I'll be honest, I didn't totally get it at first. It kind of took me a while to really understand what the business of delivering emotion on the web could be about and that vision. For me, CodeBaby represents a unique opportunity to work at a truly innovative software startup, but more so than being involved with in a foundational role, an executive role at a software startup, it's a startup that's shaping a new industry. This industry of delivering an emotional connection on the web is one that really doesn't have a precedent. So getting to shape that and be part of the team that defines that is totally compelling to me and something I'm excited to be a part of.
My name is Tony DeLawless, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer for CodeBaby. For me, working in a startup environment almost isn't even a choice. It's just something that's part of my DNA at this point. This is startup number 6 or 7 for me. So it's not so much for me about whether I like working in a startup, it's which one and what stage is it in. The probably more appropriate question as it applies to me is what am I doing in between startups? So what I like about startups is everybody holds their weight, everybody gets it done, everybody's responsible. Those who do well rise, those who do not move on. So a startup is a little primal, but it's like an endorphin rush when you're running. Once you're running 5 days in a row, you got to do that 6th day. So a startup is pretty similar.
Geez, I mean, I'm a confirmed startup junkie. I mean, I'm really good for nothing else. I think the thing that's the most fun about the startup space is just the raw learning that goes on. And it's the learning about kind of the core of how you create value. For us, that's all about this whole interaction between digital characters and kind of the emotional dynamic of human beings. I mean, we're grappling with things like cultural anthropology and social psychology and I mean, incredibly interesting stuff that we're learning for the first time. At the same time, we're learning how do we translate that into value for customers, and similarly, how do we turn that into a successful business? That process of learning and doing things for the first time is just invigorating. I mean, it's just the most fun that I can imagine doing in a work context.
My name is Mike Witt, and I'm responsible for the web sales of the CodeBaby characters. About a year ago, I got a call from Patrick, and he told me he was talking to a company that was really interesting. He thought it was going to be pretty exciting, and that we'd just kind of stay in touch about it. And we talked a couple of, probably 2 or 3 more times as it got more and more interesting. And he said, you know, when we get to the right point, I'll give you a call and see if you want to talk further about this. And that's how it all happened. Startups are exciting. If they're good startups, they're fast-paced. This is a company where creativity and innovation are valued highly, and so that makes it a great place to work. Well, what's unique about Sarah
Peanut gallery here.
What's unique here is that we're unique. There's no one else who does what we do. So that means that that's partially because we're a disruptive company, we're a game-changing company, and when you're in that mode, everything that you do is unique. And that's part of why it's so much fun.